For example, if I give a different color to it, and for the fans I give a different color, and for the switches, let's say I give a different color, and for the dimensions, let's say I give a different color, and for the annotations I give a different colors. So now you can see that let's say I work on the lights, so I make it current at this moment. I want to get some lights, I want to put some lights to show that tube lights or the concealed lights are placed in the ceiling plan. So this particular drawing is externally referred over here, and I'm using it for drawing the electrical layout. Now let me have some lights and fans so that I can put it over here and create some blocks. So say I want to have some concealed lights. So let me have this. So I make a block, concealed lights, and select the object and pick a point, and here we go. So now let's say here I have this, I insert some lightings over here. So let's say in this corner, okay, and let's say I have the lighting here at this point, and I want to have some concealed or the ceiling lights here. Apart from there, I want to have a fan over here. So let me draw a fan symbol. So that we have already discussed in the previous session. So we'll create a block of this. So I'm going to give the fans and make it a block, fan. Here it is, select object, pick point. I just select object, and I would like to have the pick point for the insertion point, and say okay, and then I'm going to place it somewhere here. So here I have this layer, and I want to have the fans at this. Let's say I want to have a fan over here, and I would like to have a fan over here. So I'm inserting the fans over here. Let's say center position, and let's say I want to have a fan over here. So this is just a symbolic representation of how we do electrical layout. And let's say I want to have a switch. So let's say one-way switch. So to draft a one-way switch, so have a small circle. Then you can have the, say, make it a sector kind of thing, and just you can put a straight line to it so that it represents a switch. So you can have a one-way or a two-way switch. Different symbols can be used. So let me scale. Right. So here we have this electrical layout, and we have taken the architecture layout as a reference. Now we will see how basically it would be used while we are doing an electrical layout. So let me put some points over here. More points. Let's say I have this lights in the ceiling here, and lights in the ceiling here. Okay, so I can have, so we'll be having different legends for the switches, lights, and other thing. So let me create a layer for the switch. So let's say it's so we have a layer for switch, and we can have a layer for sockets or receptacles, power sockets, and circuits. So I can have another layer for circuits. So circuit lines. It can be a 3-phase or a single phase. Okay, so this, let us give it a different color. So, and a line type, let's say I want to give a line type of dotted line over here. Let's say I can have a hidden line. So let's say I want to have the circuit with the switch. So just put this into the switch layer, and let's say I have a switch. Select an object and take the base point here and press OK. So if I want to place the switch, let's say take the switch over here and place it. So the moment I enter, I am placing the switch over here. Just move it somewhere at this point. So here it is connected, the circuit is connected. Let's say we want to have a circuit. So I can have the circuit over here. I want to give a different color to the circuit. Let's say I want to give a color, let's say over here, and set current. And similarly, you can see that you can draw an arc to show the circuit lines. So you have an arc, you can go for a start point. Let's say you can go for a second point. Let's say this is, so you can have a scale of the line type. So you can go to the properties palette, increase the line types, local line type scale, let's say to 5 times, so that you can see it in a dotted lines. So here we are, and then we can have the switch. You can have another arc from here. So you're looping it. So this is how. So I can match the properties MA, and you can see, and then we can have the switch over here. So we can match the properties, and this is how the looping is done with the lights. So now you can see that we have a scale, let's say 5 minutes. So this is the one loop that I have created for the conceal light or the ceiling light that I had given. So we can have different circuits for it. Now let's see what happens to the Xref. Now let's say here, if I change the architectural plan, let's say I move the door, for example, to I move the door here and just change the plan over here. So this is the source, this is the actual architectural plan which has been Xrefed for the electrical drawing, and I have been working in the electrical drawing, and now I would see that if there is a change here in the architectural drawing, how the change will be affected. So I save the file. So I will have to save the file. Okay, so I go with the save option, and coming to the electrical, when we have, now you can see that there is a message that has come. A reference file has been changed and maybe need reloading. So the moment the reference has been changed, the user, the electrical drawing, the person who is drafting the drawing would be given an alert that the external reference file has been changed. So this is the communication the CAD makes with the other drawings. Now see what happens. So you can see that here we are in this graph where we are doing an electrical drawing. So the moment there is a change in the architectural drawing, in the electrical drawing where the architectural drawing has been Xref, gets a message that the external reference has been changed and it needs reloading. So now if we go back to the electrical plan and go with the Xref, let's say, now you can see that it basically shows that there's an option called written needs reloading, right? So right click into it, and then there's an option called reload. So here, go for reload option. The moment you reload it, the change is seen. And now with this change, what you need to do is you need to basically redefine your architectural layout if you want. So this is the external reference use that we have. Now let's suppose if I am using this external reference for the power socket, for example locating the power lines, or for example locating the how the conduits will be moving and other telecommunications, or let's say for the Wi-Fi lines how it will be done. So let's say if I want to Xref this particular electrical file, now let's say I'm opening a new file and I name it as, let's say, uh, electrical power. So here what I would be going with it, I would be basically so I would be extracting the lighting plan that I have done, so that I know where are these switches are there, so that I can have the power sockets there and give all the other lines required, like the, for example, where would be the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet connections would be there, or where would be other lines like the television DTH connection would be there, so I can relocate them here, and I can make another circuit out of it. So let's say if I am going to Xref the electrical drawing in this electrical power, so here I would go for attach drawing, and then I have this floor plan electrical. So I have this select here, and I would just Xref it over here. Now you see that the moment zoom extent. So now other thing is that now you have Xref the electrical layout over here. So this is the floor plan electrical star. So I would save this file first. So the moment I save this file, so here in this electrical power, this file, so now because it was not showing over here, nothing was showing over here because I did not save the electrical file. So here it is saying that there's a change that has been done. So go to the Xref. So you would find that if you attach it, if you reload it, right, the file would be visible now. Now here you find that there is an electrical plan which has been Xref along with the architectural plan has come. So now let's say if in the electrical plan, if you are unloading it, let's say the architectural plan, and you're saving the file. So what will happen? So you save the file. So in the electrical power, the moment you reload the file, let's say the architectural plan file, so now what will happen? Now see so here, so we have unloaded the file, but still in the electrical power, so let me unload it and save it again. But now you would find that the architectural plan is still visible over here because it is there along. So the unloading of the file at this electrical plan does not affect the visibility of the architectural plan. So in order to unload this architectural plan in this power plan, so you go to the Xref and you have this option and you can unload it from here. But if you don't want the architectural plan come along with the electrical plan in this particular layout, so what you need to do, okay, there's a simple step. So you first of all reload it, and then you can change the type, Xref type, from attachment to overlay. The moment you make it overlay here, so and save it, so in the electrical power, once you get it, so in the electrical power, the architectural, so if you go and reload the architectural electrical plan, so in this particular, the architectural plan will not be visible. Now let me do it again. Now what is happening is, here in this particular drawing, the electrical drawing has been Xrefed, but in the electrical drawing, the architectural drawing was Xrefed. So along with the electrical drawing, the architectural drawing came over here, because in the electrical drawing, the architectural drawing was referred as attachment. But if the architectural drawing is referred as overlay option, so what will happen in the electrical power drawing, when the electrical drawing is Xref, the architectural drawing did not come. But if you want to see the architectural drawing again, so the drawing in the electrical drawing, the Xref type for the architectural drawing has to be changed from overlay to attach. Now you can see the type is changed. Now what will happen if you save it? You have to save it. The architectural plan over here, the electrical power plan over here, the architectural plan will be visible at this electrical power plan when you reload the electrical plan. So this is the difference between, so reload it. This is the difference between the overlay and the attach option of Xref. So sometimes Xref within an Xref. So this is an Xref, and within this there is another Xref. So it is called nested Xref. So now you can see the ripple is going, right? So this is how Xrefs are done. Now let's come to the layer option. Now over here you can see that there are certain layers which you cannot work into it. So what is happening? So, and it comes with the name over here, the floor plan, architectural A, and wall, another thing. Now, if you want to make those layers current, you cannot make them current because you cannot work on those layers. Similarly, these layers cannot be controlled, right? So what you want to do is you have to remove the dependency. Once you have Xrefed a particular drawing, for example, in this example, I have Xrefed the architectural drawing into the electrical drawing. So if I want, I can make this architectural drawing a part of the electrical drawing and remove the Xref condition from the entire drawing. So what I do, so in the Xref option, there is a Xref dialog. You have got options over here. So option is to bind, right? So once you bind it, means you are removing the Xref and binding it with the current drawing. So the moment you say bind, you have got two options, bind and insert. So if you have the bind option, now what will happen? And you say okay. So what will happen? The Xref will go, and the drawings over here is now this will be working as a block. So you can explode this block and make it as an actual drawing file. At the same time, you can see that the layers have become active, and you can work on these layers, and you can basically use these layers. They are not Xref dependent layers. So binding is an option of finishing or ending the Xref within the drawing. So now in the bind, there is two options you saw. One is bind and one is insert. Now what is the difference between binding and insert within a bind? So let's do it. Now let's see an example. So I have done an undo. So for binding, you can say xbind. So xbind will have the same thing, like you can bind the layers. Let's go with the bind option, like in the Xref. Let's go with the bind option. Then we will be doing what is in xbind. So here, once we see, so let me tell you what is the exact difference. Now let's say if I have a layer, I go to the layer manager, and here if I have layer called a door, and this is color is, let's say I give it as red. Now you can see that I have created a layer which is same name as that of the Xref dependent layer. Now we have got two layers with the same name, but this layer is having the name of the file. So when the Xref will be bound, or when you bind the Xref, there are two things. Either these two layers will exist individually, or they will merge into a single layer having the property of the layer which is given in the drawing. So now let's see what happens. Now I have got two layers. Now let's do a bind. So if I go for Xref and I bind the file and I take a bind type, so what will happen? The layer a door exists, as well as the door over here exists. Now you can see after binding, the dollar sign is shown over here. It means that it is giving a different name to the door and the wall. So it is not merging with this a door, which is of similar name. But if you do an insert option, in the bind. So what will happen, the layers will be having an individual name it was having in the source file. So let's see an example. So if I have a bind and if I do insert, that means it is inserting the property of the layers with the name in the drawing in which it is getting bounded. So here you can see that the layers will be having the same name, and here you can see that the door layer which was there in the architectural drawing has merged with the common name that is given over here. So this is the difference between bind and insert. But you know what happens, ultimately the object is turned into a block and then you can explode it to get individual lines. So this is Xref, and there are certain commands with the Xref that I will be discussing next. Again, to summarize, Xref is basically calling an external file from within the same project for referring for a particular other drawings. For example, you are Xrefing an architectural drawing to draft an electrical layout. So here we had shown two examples, and the command for Xref command is Xref, and we did this. We Xref the architectural plan into the electrical layout and saw how the Xref worked. Now further going towards Xref, learning about other commands like Xclip and Xcontrol, there are other commands in Xref. So I would like to also introduce that we can attach PDF that has been converted from an AutoCAD drawing, which has been converted to PDF. We can bring it over here, attach an PDF and keep it as an underlay to trace the drawing. So how do we do that? Let's take an example. So I do an Xref command over here, and then I have this option called attach PDF, and here I go to the folder where the PDF is there. So let's come over here like to the file that I have, for example in the week 9, the drawings. So I have this kitchen layout. So I want to have this PDF inserted into this drawing file. So I put this PDF here, and I can see now this is something drawn in millimeters. So let me have a new file for millimeters so that I can so I will open a drawing with metric here because the drawing is in mm. So here now we can see a live example where the PDF is traced using the Xref, and how we can control the layers within the PDF that has been converted from an AutoCAD drawing, and we can control it in through the Xref command. So we have this Xref option, and then there is an option called attach PDF, and here we go with the kitchen layout, and here we have, so we can insert it in a scale, full scale over here. Okay, and that is inserted in the origin because we haven't selected the insertion point. So now we can see that this is a PDF, and this is the object is PDF underlay, named as, when you select it, it is named as PDF underlay. So it might be having different layers. Now let's see how we can see those layers. So the moment you select the object over here, so you can see that there is an option called show underlay. That means it's showing the PDF, or you can disable it. That means you can show and you can make it invisible. Apart from that, you can edit the layers. For example, the moment you say edit layer, so what will happen, there are certain layers that can be edited. For example, the doors you can see is edited. We can also edit the layers of the hatching, column hatching, and let's say we can also, the wall hatch can be removed. So this way you can control the layers within a PDF file. So very important point is, if the drawing is converted, it is plotted into PDF, and you're using that PDF file, then only the layers will be controlled through the underlay layers option. So now you can see that there is an attachment over here, and I want to convert this attachment into the DWG file. So what I can do, this is as an underlay option over here. Now there is an option called enable snapping. Now you can see that all the points are snapped. You can snap the points over here, and you can trace the wall from this PDF file. So here I can go, and now you can see that okay, So I have traced the wall over here. Now here you can see that there is no layers over here because it is in PDF. The layers are embedded inside the PDF. So let's say I create a wall layer for the wall that I have created and color it, let's say red. So make it current. So now I want to mainly unload it over here. So you can see that the lines are here. So let me complete this line and match the properties of this object along with this. Now you see that this is the way by which we can trace the drawing that is in PDF into our current drawing. So this is one option, and then here in the Xref you can see that there is you can basically reload it, unload it, and then you can also detach it. So here detaching means you're detaching after you have worked out with the file, you can detach it. Now let's complete this file and see, and then we will detach it. So if you measure the drawing, for example, at this moment of time, let's say if I do a dimension, let's see what the dimension says. So I have the so let me take one dimension because this is a kitchen layout, and let's say you have this dimension 400. So I can do a dim-lin and check it over here from, let's say, this point to this point. So just need to check the scale whether it is so now it is coming 14-73. That means we need to change the scale of this particular PDF so that it can be used in full scale. So how do we do it? Because when the PDF has been made, so for this after inserting it, you can scale the file. For example, take a base dimension. Let's say this is a 900. Go with the distance command and check the dimension. For example, from this point to this point, let's say for this point, you're checking the dimension. Let me see if I'm using the correct points or not. Let's say this is the 2 points. It says it is 900 in this particular drawing. So here we are. So it says 29.8 is the dimension. So you can scale it. So you can go with the scale command and you can scale it, let's say, and take the reference option. Let's say the reference length is 29.88 and the new length is 900. So the object is now approximately scaled to the value that I wanted. Now you can check it again with the distance command and then you start tracing. So this is how we do tracing from an existing PDF file. So let's say if I now check this dimension, so this will be approximately 900. So here now you can start sketching the file. So let's say I do a wall over here. Now you can see what is the thickness of the wall. You can do a dimension check right now. Once you are done, let's say you can see what is the thickness of the wall that I have achieved. Go with the escape tool. Okay. So now you can see the distance command. The distance between these 2 points is approximately 230 mm. So this is how the underlay option for the PDF underlay option is used. So you can detach it and get it away. So this is one option that I wanted to discuss with you. If you have a PDF file, you can always bring that PDF file into your current drawing and then trace it and then detach it, and then your actual drawing will be there. So now let's take an example. Again, going to the Xref, we will be discussing about how we can open and file from the Xref, with how we can clip the Xref file so that certain portion of the file is not visible, right? So let's do it.